Today, you'll see how two criminals react to being sent to prison for decades. 33-year-old Maxwell Anderson met 19-year-old criminal justice student Sade Robinson in March 2024. Likely unaware of his history of domestic abuse, drunk driving, and disorderly conduct, she decided to go out with him. They scheduled a first date for April 1st, 2024, and Robinson told someone at her apartment building she was excited to spend time with Anderson. They met at the Twisted Fisherman restaurant in downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin, before heading to another establishment nearby called Duke's on Water. They hung out there for a few hours, then left just after 9 p.m. Just before 9:30, surveillance video showed them entering Anderson's home. Sadly, Robinson would never come out alive. Robinson's Honda Civic was found the following morning, at around 7:30 a.m., set ablaze. Her clothes were inside the trunk. Later in the day, at around 5:30 p.m., a human leg belonging to a black female was found at Warnemont Park. Throughout the day, no one could reach Robinson, and she failed to show up for her job at a local pizza place. Just shy of 24 hours after she left Duke's on Water with Anderson, Robinson's friend reported her missing. Investigators started connecting the dots quickly, and soon the severed leg was identified as Robinson's. Anderson became the prime suspect, as he was the last person seen with her. Witness accounts, surveillance video, and phone records also pointed to his involvement. Surveillance footage recorded around 2:45 a.m. on April 2nd showed Robinson's Honda Civic ramming through the gate of Warnemont Park and somebody taking several trips down to the water. Anderson was also seen near the Civic when it was set on fire, and he headed back home on a county bus afterward. Cell phone records showed that Robinson and Anderson's phones traveled together until just after 4:30 a.m. when her phone's battery died. Anderson was pulled over and arrested on April 4th, 2024. A search of his home turned up a large amount of blood, which was later determined to be from a canine. Inside his place were also several gasoline containers. He had a dungeon in his basement. Investigators also found graphic photos on his phone of Robinson dead or unconscious, and blood inside his vehicle. On April 6th, a foot and human flesh turned up. The next day, more body parts were found. All the evidence pointed to Anderson, and he was charged with first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and arson on April 12th. He pleaded not guilty and was held in jail on a whopping $5 million bail. An informant came forward days later, saying Anderson told him in March that he was planning to kill Robinson. The informant also stated that Anderson showed him the basement, which contained several saws and was covered with a plastic tarp. The case garnered significant media attention in Milwaukee, with a public memorial held for her and a mural painted at Robinson's workplace. The circumstances of her death also led her family to sue Anderson for wrongful death. Her family also sued the bars Robinson and Anderson visited on the night of their first date, alleging that the establishments had served drinks to the teenage Robinson without checking her ID. However, the suit was later dismissed. Anderson's trial started on May 27, 2025, with jury selection. Opening statements and testimony were presented the next day. The evidence over the next week and a half was overwhelming, and when the jury received the case on June 6, 2025, they only needed 30 minutes before finding him guilty of homicide and several other charges. At his sentencing on August 1st, Robinson's mother didn't hold back.
My daughter referred to you as a man. You will never be a fucking man. You're a pussy-ass bitch.
Ms. Scarborough, if you could direct your comments to me, please.
This demon and his whole-ass attorney, they knew exactly what he did and what he was responsible for. They took us through extreme agony and pain. We are already dealing with so much trauma. You plotted and planned to kill, dismember, then you disrespectfully spread my daughter across the Milwaukee like a piece of trash. How dare you? You no longer can harm and hurt my innocent baby. You took advantage of her. You manipulated her in the worst possible way.
Later, his father spoke of seeing his son free one day.
To Max, we want you to know that we love you and support your plan for self-improvement. In this, we hope for a path for you to become a positive influence for society, both while you are incarcerated and hopefully after.
Many anticipated Anderson speaking as they hoped he would reveal where he put Robinson's head.
I would like to start by saying that from the bottom of my heart, my deepest and most sincere condolences go out to Sade's family, as well as everyone else affected by this tragedy. That being said, Your Honor, I took this to trial without ever once trying to make a plea deal of any kind, because I did not commit these crimes. And so I plan to appeal my convictions while I hope and pray that further investigations not only prove my innocence, but find and deliver true justice.
The judge spoke last, handing down the harshest sentence possible.
This is clearly not a probation case. Probation would unduly depreciate the seriousness of the offense and isn't even allowable under our law. You are sentenced to a term of life imprisonment, and that is what the penalty is for a jury of your peers ultimately coming back and convicting you on first-degree intentional.
Chase Jones had a bad habit of speeding and driving recklessly. He totaled vehicles in May 2023 and January 2024. But both times, his parents arrived before the police, and he was able to avoid a police record or traffic infractions. In the May crash, he received a warning from the cops.
Mistake. It's happened. Lesson to learn. As long as you learn it.
Unfortunately, he didn't learn his lesson and got his hands on an Audi sedan in February 2024. Tragedy struck on March 19th in Renton, Washington. The 18-year-old was driving 112 miles per hour in a 40-mile-per-hour zone when he ran a red light and T-boned a van with a woman and 5 children inside it. He never tried to brake before the crash. 38-year-old Andrea Hudson, 13-year-old Matilda Wilcoxon, 12-year-old Eloise Wilcoxon, and 12-year-old Boyd Buster Brown died. Andrea's 2 children survived. Her son Nolan will suffer from a compromised immune system and a limited range of motion for the remainder of his life. His sister Charlotte has a brain injury that will also be with her for life. On top of that, they have to deal with the pain of losing their mother. Jones also survived, but with broken arms, legs, and other injuries. By the time April 2025 rolled around, he had recovered and pleaded guilty to 4 counts of vehicular homicide and 2 counts of vehicular assault. During his sentencing, emotions ran high for everyone, including the defendant and the judge. Andrea's husband spoke of his pain.
There's no way in this short amount of time to begin to describe the pain that we had to endure and continue to endure, this pain and fear that we still carry and feel every day. There will be a gaping hole in all of our hearts for the rest of our lives from the loss of Andrea and our dear friends Matilda, Eloise, and Buster. We will never recover from this tragedy. We are left with lifelong physical, financial, mental, and emotional damages.
Andrea's mom spoke of forgiveness.
I want to tell Chase Jones that I forgive him. In no way does this make the life of my daughter, Andrea, or Buster, or Eloise, or Matilda insignificant. But it helps me to have peace in my heart.
Jones didn't speak at his sentencing, but his lawyer read a letter on his behalf.
Mr. and Mrs. Brown, I'm so incredibly sorry for the losses you've suffered and the damages I've dealt. I apologize for the unimaginable pain and suffering I've caused your families. I made poor and selfish choices by ignoring my problems, by speeding. Truth is, I was addicted to speed, but not because of an adrenaline rush or excitement or any of that. I used speed like a tool to ignore my problems. I used the pedal to put all my emotions into which turned out to be the biggest mistake of my life. I know some of you have said you forgive me, and I'm not sure how, but that does mean so much to me, more than you know.
The judge had the last word.
I am going to follow the agreed recommendation and impose the following. On counts 1, 2, 3, and 4, 210 months to run concurrent with each other and concurrent with counts 5 and 6. On counts 5 and 6, 84 months to run concurrent with each other and concurrent with counts 1 through 4. 18 months of community custody on counts, at all counts.
Jones received 17.5 years in prison, 5.5 years less than the maximum of 23 years.
Like, comment, and subscribe.